Hi, it's JP. I'm here at the Tesla Supercharger at Lawrence Allen Center, formerly Lawrence Square, because today is a momentous day for VW EV owners, at least for MEB platform car owners. Yesterday, VW announced that their cars are finally going to have access to the Tesla Supercharger network. We were all waiting with bated breath for this because they were supposed to have access in June, and they said they had technical difficulties, and we knew that ID4s and ID buzzes could charge on Magic Dock stations, so it was kind of hard to understand what those technical difficulties might be. But now we finally are going to have access. So the deets are pretty run-of-the-mill. November 18th, the VW cars should have access. That's next Tuesday, if I remember correctly. You'll need to use the app to activate, and you'll need an adapter for anything but Magic Dock stations, which could already use the Tesla Superchargers. I have no idea what those adapters are going to cost. Here in Canada, I've heard some reports that the ID4 owners will have to buy their adapters, and the ID Buzz owners, one will be available through their dealer, but to me that sounds like the same thing, so we'll see. As for availability, it's probably like everybody else, whenever. I also heard a rumor that it might be the Electron adapter, although again, have to wait and see. Do I realistically think those adapters are going to be available anytime soon? If anybody else's experience has been a guide, I would say no. But again, we'll have to wait and see. Since those VW cars could already charge on Magic Dock stations, and VW said that they were having some technical difficulties, we can reasonably assume that they were working on something more than just being able to charge, and one would speculate that that might have been some kind of integration with their built-in software, or it might have been plug and charge, which you could argue is probably also integration with their built-in software. But it doesn't look like we're getting that. So what could be going on? Now I'm going to do a little speculation here for the rest of the video on a number of topics. They say that it's going to be the ID4 and the ID Buzz that are going to gain access. No mention of e-Golfs. And so that really means they're MEB platform cars, which makes me speculate that maybe the Audi Q4 e-tron is also going to get access, seeing as it's another MEB platform car that didn't have access, even though some other VW group cars like other Audis and Porsches do have access. So this really looked like a problem with MEB platform cars. What's different about MEB platform cars? Well, I had heard somewhere on the internet, unconfirmed, remember we're in speculation mode, that for privacy, those MEB platform cars randomize the MAC address on the connection. Remember, when you plug in a CCS car to charge on CCS, it forms a network connection, and just like with Ethernet, each of those network devices, the charger and the car, has a network address. And that network address makes the car uniquely identifiable. So, I had heard that for privacy purposes, VW had done something that's a little bit like your cell phone on a Wi-Fi network. There's an option to tell it to randomize the MAC address every time it connects. Now, Tesla has been gatekeeping access to the network, and the way they've been doing that, I believe, is through the MAC addresses. Now, if the cars were randomizing the MAC addresses every time they connected, that would make the gatekeeping really, really difficult. So I'm guessing that that's what they were working on, seeing as other VW group cars had access, and the cars could charge at Magic Dock stations already. Really, their problem was probably just the gatekeepered superchargers. So I think that's what they were working on. Just my speculation. Now I'm also going to speculate that unfortunately I don't think that means e-Golfs are going to get any love here, which is unfortunate. But I'm guessing that they're going to be left out in the cold. My understanding is that they don't use the modern CCS protocol anyways, that they're using an older protocol, and that in fact really complicates things. So I'm going to speculate here until we hear otherwise that the e-Golf people are probably going to be out of luck, unfortunately. Hey, maybe some Chinese company will build a CCS debug device that could go in between your car and a charger and offer one protocol to your car and another protocol to the charger. That would be handy. Now, VW has said that some cars will need software updates, and that for the people who that applies to, they'll get a notification in the car or something like that. And if you don't get it, you don't need it. Who knows what that would be about, but that's good to hear that there is something that needs to be updated and they weren't just twiddling their thumbs. So I guess if you have one of those cars, you'll see a notification. Now, according to the placard on those cabinets over there, each of these DC posts can cough up over 600 amps. And I know that the ID Buzz, and maybe the ID4, at peak charging, need the full 500 amps that CCS normally allows. So, as far as I know, only Tesla vehicles are getting those big numbers, and most of the other cars are not able to achieve those high amperage numbers on the superchargers. Does that vary by which supercharger it is? Possibly. Are the V3.5 posts that we have here better than the regular V3s? Maybe. I know there are different flavors of the V3s as well, so that might also be a factor. It would be really interesting if we had a vehicle, a VW vehicle, that we could test, because VW says that those cars that need the software update need it to have optimal charging on the posts, and we already know that Magic Dock vehicles can charge, so maybe that update is to maximize the current that is available. It would be nice to test that. We might need an MEB vehicle to do that. Have to work on that. So bye for now. If you've been watching this far, thank you. If you are interested in this content, then you might want to see more if I do more. I know I'm not doing a lot, but you know what really encourages me? Subscribing. And if you subscribe, you might not get notified unless you do that notification bell thing. So I would request that you subscribe and click the little notification bell like every other YouTube out there. It's easy to unsubscribe if you don't want to see those notifications anymore. So that would be handy for me, because what motivates me to make this is not monetization, because I'm not getting monetized. It's that people want to see the content. So the more I know that people want to see the content, the more motivated I am to do it. So bye for now. Thank you for watching, and talk to you later. So according to this label, each of those stalls can cough up 630 odd amps.